In a democracy, the legislature and the legislative arms are very important in strengthening our democracy and yielding the dividends that we so desire. My name is Isabella Akinseye, and this is Politico Politica.
The Nigeria of the future is for dreamers like me.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
Our local government areas must become special economic zones.
I hope to disrupt the politics of failure.
There will be no sacred cow.
Dissolve all the congresses, dissolve the convention, and start all over again.
Mr. President, my people are under siege.
Leadership is not about the position you hold.
You can't shut down your shop and be chasing criminals.
If you allow criminals, there will be no shop.
Find ways to fix your judiciary.
Transfer, say aye.
And most importantly, fix the mind of the people.
The party must do what is right.
Nigeria suffers from a state of economic radiculopathy, social sciatica, and political dystopia.
Welcome back to Politico Politica with me, your host, Isabella Akinseye. Let's meet our guest. He is an energetic attorney with a Bachelor of Laws degree, LLB honors from Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ogun State, and barrister at law certificate from Nigeria Law School. In addition, he holds Master of Law degree from the prestigious University of Lagos. He's currently the managing partner at Eliseo Law Office, a law firm situated in Lagos with special bias for corporate, commercial, intellectual property, litigation, and real estate. He has also collaborated with the offices of the Public Defender in Lagos and Ogun States in providing free legal service to the indigents. He is the All Progressive Congress APC candidate for the Oyo State House of Assembly representing Iseyin Itesiwaju Constituency. He is Omobolaji Ladigbolu. Omobolaji, welcome to Politico Politica.
Thank you.
So our topic today, we're looking at the importance of the legislature. So let me ask you, you're a lawyer, how important is the legislature in strengthening our democracy?
One of the most important organs of government is the legislative arm, and they are lawmakers. And one of the constitutional roles of lawmakers is to make laws for the country at large, for the local government and the state government. So it's a very important and vital role they play in the key to bringing democracy and building the gap between the people and the people that they're being governed and the people in government. So legislative roles, and as a lawyer, I understand that lawmaking business, it's something we need to understand before you go as a legislator to represent your people. That's why I'm putting myself forward to represent the people of Iseyin and Itesiwaju constituency in the Oyo State House of Assembly in 2019.
How would you rate the Nigerian laws compared to the rest of Africa? Do you think they are fair enough for women, for minorities, for people of a different orientation?
Well, democracy just came into Nigeria in 1999. We are growing. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's a gradual process. Some of our laws are archaic and we're still working on them. But most importantly, the current assembly, which is the Ninth Assembly in the Senate and the House of Representatives, they are doing a great job. And they've brought in new innovations into our laws that will bring about development and restructure the country at large. It's a gradual process. We are getting there, but we still need more hands on deck and work to be done. And by God's grace, with the help of all Nigerians and the people in government, we can all work hand in hand and make sure the laws that are being passed, it's very effective and it has impact on our daily lives.
So we're not doing too badly compared to the rest of Africa, considering the age of our democracy.
We're not doing bad, but we can do better.
So you spoke about the innovations, there are good laws being made, but let's talk about enforcement. It's one thing to have the laws, but it's another thing on enforcement. So how will you rate the enforcement of the law in Nigeria?
Enforcement has been one of the major challenges we're facing in Nigeria. We have beautiful laws that we are proud of, and it works with Nigeria at large and the citizens. How to enforce these laws has been one of our major challenges and problems. The police, the custom, they are trying their best, But Nigeria is a diverse country, and we have a lot of challenges. We have a lot of problems, which in the nearest future, with good governance and a good leadership, we can get through it. But so I would say law enforcement we're lacking behind, but with the right party, which is All Progressive Congress, which I'm a member of the party, of a beautiful party, with the legislative and the judiciary working hand in hand with the executive, we can get there, and we're definitely going to get there.
So my final question on our topic of the day, we'll be looking at the future. What's the future of the legislative arms in Nigeria?
The current administration in the Senate and the judiciary and State House of Assembly, they passed the Not Too Young to Run bill. That's one of the greatest bills which has been passed in the history of this country. This has given room for people like me to come out today and say, okay, I want to represent the good people of my constituency. If not for the legislature, I'm sure we'll still be looking at the future, and maybe the young people, the younger generation will still be looking at the elder ones and say, okay, next tomorrow, maybe it's going to be our turn. But now, this bill is one of the most, how would I put it, the bill that came at the right time, because the young people have been coming out and say, okay, it is time for us to take over, to get into government, to bring our ideas to the table and not just leave it to the elderly ones. But I think it's time for young people to actually come out. So that's one of the laws that's been passed, which I, as a young person, am running and riding on that platform to reach out to my people and my constituents, telling them this is what I can do, not just as a young person or a young Nigerian who has interest in politics, but someone who has diverse ideas and can change the structure which they've laid back in my constituency. So I would say that's one of the most beautiful laws which the legislature passed under this administration.
Thank you, Omobolaji, for your contributions on our topic of the day.
You're welcome.
And we'd like to hear from you. Do you have your own views on the importance of legislature, the importance of lawmaking and lawmakers in our democracy? Go on Twitter, tweet at PP with Isabella, and make sure you follow us on our social media platforms, Politico Politica on Facebook and Instagram. Don't go anywhere, because when we return, it's our politics and more segment. You don't want to miss that.
Politico Politica. Politics for everyone.
Welcome back to Politico Politica with me, your host, Isabella Akinseye. Before the break, we looked at the importance of legislature. Now, on our Politics and More segment, we find out about the political journey of our guest. Omobolaji, will you say your legal career, your background in law, influenced your decision to run for political office?
Yes, that's a correct word to use. As a lawyer, close to 10 years at the bar, the experience I've had in the courtrooms, from drafting agreements, from writing laws, did inspire me to actually run for office. And after the 2015 general elections, I actually showed interest, and I went back to my constituency, which is Iseyin in Oyo State. And I had to do the grassroots politics. That's the most important thing. You have to play politics. You have to go back home, get to know your people. What do they want? What do they lack? What ideas can you bring to this society at large and your community in particular?
And how have you been able to marry law and politics?
Well, I can say it's just like a man that has two wives. That's the way I see it right now. Because
so which of the wives is taking more of your attention and your money and love and care?
Well, I've been trying to balance both, which is difficult, but I'm trying my best. And as a lawmaker, you need to understand the law. That is why I always say lawyers are the best lawmakers, because this is what we do on our daily to-day activities. Just like 2 days ago, I read some things that I wrote back in university, just to in case when we get to the House of Assembly, we know how we can actually structure our plans for the people, not just saying we're going to buy this for them, we're going to give them this. What laws do you want to bring to your community? What projects can you bring to your people, which the laws do allow you to? Because in politics, there's some things you shouldn't do. which people
don't understand. So you would
understand.
say the law is influencing the politics
Yes.
and guiding the politics.
Yes.
So there are two happy wives.
There are two happy wives, which I intend to keep that way for the rest of my life.
Okay, so why the APC?
All Progressive Congress is a party with a great ideology. From their manifesto down to the constitution of the party. Before I started this journey, I looked into the constitution of all the parties, and I realized APC has the agenda of what someone like me have in mind, the manifesto to bring dividends of democracy back to the people. So that's what lured me to the APC, and with the work of our President Muhammadu Buhari, and the state governors in various states and the legislators, we are doing a great job. We are not there yet, but with another 4 years in office for the All Progressive Congress, Nigeria will be a better country.
And are there any political gladiators you draw strength from, any godfathers, any leaders, role models?
Well, I don't believe in godfatherism. I believe in mentorship. You need people you look up to. You love the way they play politics. Babatunde Raji Fashola, maybe because he's a lawyer, is one of the people who influenced me to actually go into politics. And another person in particular who is not in my party is Donald Duke. These are people who I draw inspiration from on how to govern, how to look into leadership, and how to look into fellowship. And these are part of the qualities I saw in them. So I won't use the word godfatherism. I'll use the word mentorship. These are the people, and there's still some people back home in my constituency that I talk to. Some are learned, some are not, but they know more about politics. They know how you can interact with people. They know how you can actually, because I don't see politics as you being a leader. To lead, you have to follow. To follow, you have to lead.
And my final question will be, how are you financing your political campaign?
By the special grace of God, and that the good Lord, I'm a Christian, the good Lord has been able to help me, and I've been running the campaign with my own personal funds. I have my office, so the business has been good, so I thank God for that. And with the help of family and friends, we've been able to start this journey.
Okay, thank you very much, Omobolaji.
You're welcome.
We'll be taking a quick breather on Politico Politica, but when we return, it's our project or your segment where Omobolaji will be sharing his big plans for his constituency, Iseyin, Itesiwaju. You don't want to miss that.
Politico Politica. Politics for everyone.
Welcome back to Politico Politica with me, your host, Isabella Akinseye. Now it's time for our project or your segment. So how would you rate Iseyin, Itesiwaju right now in terms of development, in terms of progress and the quality of life?
Iseyin and Itesiwaju constituency in Oyo State, it's under the leadership of the current governor of Oyo State, Iseyin Ajimobi. The governor has been able, through the commissioners and local government chairmen, to push the Iseyin Itesiwaju agenda forward. But we can still do better. That is why they need quality representative, someone who can actually, who understands the law, who knows the law, and who can play politics with it. And a little bit, not a little bit, but an experience in administration. So that is why I would say Iseyin Itesiwaju constituency, I won't say they're lacking behind. It's a journey which I've started, which the APC government has started in Oyo State, but we can do better. Oyo State in particular, we've been able to increase the internal revenue of the state, which I am looking to work hand in hand with the local government chairman of both Iseyin and Itesiwaju to see how we can bring dividend of democracy back to our people. One of my core areas of my manifesto, and one of the core areas where we want to have impact on the life of some people, is education. Because when you educate a child, you are blessing a family, you are raising a one-man army that can lead to bringing up his own family. So education is one of the key areas where we are looking into. Then in terms of infrastructure, Iseyin Itesiwaju constituency, there's a town in Iseyin local government called Aduawaye. They have the suspended lake. There are ways the state government and even
so
the
tourism is one
yes,
of the things. But
tourism.
What are the pressing needs of the people?
Well, I'll say education. We don't have an institution like a federal government presence or a state government presence in Iseyin or Itesiwaju constituency. We need like a polytechnic. We need like a university. We need like a vocational school. which we have a technical college, but we can still do better for a constituency that has over 30,000 people. And if you can bring this to the people of Oyo State, or to the Iseyin Itesiwaju in particular, a lot is going to change. There's going to be employment, their kids are going to go to school, and when you educate a community, it helps a lot in developing the community at large. Then in terms of tourism, they can actually generate money for the local government to how to run Iseyin and Itesiwaju constituency, not depending on the state government allocation alone.
Okay, my final question will have to do with how you're going to bring your legal experience into the Oyo State House of Assembly.
Well, 10 years experience is something I don't joke about, and thank God I've seen a little bit of, I've had a little bit of challenges at the beginning of my practice, which has made me become a better lawyer. The experience I've had in the past and that I have right now will help me to bring about new laws. How can we bring new laws to our people? What can we do to change Oyo State in general? And the business of lawmaking is about reading about laws, knowing about laws, how to pass the appropriate laws. You can pass laws, but it might not be good for your people. So you have to understand it. And this is the experience I'm bringing to Oyo State in particular, to Nigeria at large.
Thank you, Omobolaji.
You're welcome.
We'll be switching things up on a lighter note and away from the law and legislature on our quickfire segment coming up right after this. Do stay with us.
Politico Politica. Politics for everyone.
You're still tuned in to Politico Politica with me, your host, Isabella Akinseye. Now it's time for our light-hearted segment, our fun segment, the quickfire segment. Omobolaji, are you ready?
Yes.
Number 1, the first female governor will emerge in the next elections. True or false?
True.
Number 2, the party that will dominate in 2019 is?
APC.
3, young people have what it takes to be leaders because?
Because it's our time.
Number 4, the funniest thing I've read about myself online.
He's a Christian.
Number 5, the candidates I am most afraid of.
None.
Number 6, Nigerians will vote with their stomach or their brains.
Brains this time around.
Number 7, if not you, who?
Nobody.
Thank you, Omobolaji.
You're welcome.
We'll soon be wrapping up this episode of Politico Politica, but first, let's check out what's happening on the political landscape. Enjoy.
Politico Politica. Politics for everyone.
Electoral offences and malpractices. These includes multiple registration, underage registration, impersonation, breach of public peace during campaigns, publication of fake election results, campaigning on election day, vote buying and selling, impersonation, multiple voting, underage voting, disruption of election process, prevention of voters from exercising their rights, snatching of ballot box or election materials, destruction of election materials, stuffing of ballot box and vote padding, violating the rules of secrecy of votes, harassment and molestation of electoral officers, disenfranchisement of voters. This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. INEC, making your votes count, consolidating our democracy.
Politico Politica. Politics for everyone.
Welcome back to Politico Politica with me, your host, Isabella Akinseye. We'll wrap up the show now with our final words segment. As the name implies, final words. Imagine your final breath. Take a deep breath and imagine you have the eyes and the ears of millions of Nigerians. What will you tell them? Please say that to your camera.
Support the Nigerian dream, grow Nigeria, supporting Nigerian brands, buy Nigerian brands, and let's see how we can support our government. Yes, it's good to criticize, but let us criticize constructively and just not go on social media and say things that are not proper. there are better ways we can support the entrepreneurs, young people doing great things out there. Support them. It's good to buy foreign products, but let's come back home and support our own things. Thank you.
Thank you, Omobolaji, for being on Politico Politica.
You're welcome.
And that's where we'll be wrapping up this episode of Politico Politica. But just like Omobolaji said, support Nigeria, buy Nigerian products, and really engage with Nigerians. And as we say on the show, politics is not just for the old, it's for the young, it's for everyone. So play a part and stay woke.